music. Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Sports Goofs number 172. It's me, Francisco. I'm joined by my good buddy Charles here. And, well, Charles, this is basically, I labeled this. What did I label this? I forgot what I labeled this. Let me go on Twitter. That's where I can see the label. The Boston Funeral Watch Party. That's what I called it. Today is a celebration of death and a celebration of life as well. This is the good times, Charles. The good times are happening right now in South Florida sports in particular. You of course align yourself to the Miami Heat, right? Mm-hmm. The things I got the Heat and the Panthers, and it's been great the last few weeks. We got the Bruins being absolutely demoralized. Because their historic season came to a abrupt end in the worst way possible. And now the Boston Celtics, and I made sure to put this on the big board there, Charles. I had the Yankees game going on in the background before I switched to the Heat game.
Yeah, no cold job in this time, but it's worth.
Yeah,
it's worth what could possibly happen tonight.
There's a squirrel at the Yankees game.
Yeah,
and these guys are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
And the squirrel is hanging on to the top of the wall, and it is dropping. That's a high wall.
We should do ad-lib voice. What the fuck is this shit?
And Garrett Cole gets the out right there. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, there's no cold job. It's 3-0 right now. So.
Look, it is worth the sacrifice of what is possibly coming. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm willing to take that.
Baltimore's looking good so far this season.
Yeah, if I can say so, not to deviate to baseball, but we are a sports show, and sometimes we have to forget that we're not basketball or hockey and wrestling. Baseball really falls under the radar with our stuff until it hits about July or August. But Rays are what I kind of told you guys were, just a hot team in that first part, because now they're falling pretty quickly.
They're normalizing, I would think.
Normalizing is a very good word.
Yeah.
Still don't know half those players. It's not Wander Franco and homeboy
Randy
Rosena, and that's sometimes what comes of it all. And we always bring it up because the AL East, I almost said AEW. The AL East is the true competitive nature where something comes of it.
Best division in baseball.
Yeah, best division in baseball, and then all of a sudden comes, the Dodgers just feel like we're still the best team in baseball because they've been looking good too.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, but I'm getting excited for it. People are coming back healthy, and what I would encourage everybody
Aaron
is
Hicks
that
is gone.
Aaron Hicks is gone. Can we do this? Because we're talking about memorializing and stuff like that.
He's going to play golf, so he's good.
Yeah, well, it was a very hard sell anywhere he went.
Oh, he just gave up a home run.
Yeah, it's not his night. It's somebody else's night. It's another guy's night for me, of someone who I'm very supportive of. I would hope. But as I tell people, most importantly, as I try to fuse these things, I'm playing Zelda in the background, kids. If you guys are listening, and this one's not going to be doing stories now. Now I'm just going to do some weird things. But almost lost my train of thought. With Aaron Hicks signed to his 7-year, $70 million contract, he was basically the concerns I had about getting homeboy, who's now over with the Nets, Gary Sanchez, where they might have statistically one good season, and then you get very desperate about what is available to you and the ability and concern that somebody else is going to go for that person. And he was often injured, very often injured, ineffective, inefficient. I believe when he was dropped, he was at like 199 of a batting average. And I know,
I'll look this up while you talk.
By all means. And I know that sometimes you'll hear me say, I don't care about the analytics in certain sports. Not true of baseball. Francisco can tell you that. Andrew can tell you that. That's one of the only few analytics I'm big on for slugging, on base percentage, and OPS, which is the combo. And he was just bottom about category.
He was hitting, he was a negative 0.6 WAR. A nice number of at bat, 69, but not very nice numbers overall. 188 batting average, only a single home run, 13 hits, and let's see, OPS of where was he? Okay, OPS plus of 47, which is not good.
Yeah.
261 slugging, 263 on base percentage. Woof.
Yeah, like if the 263 was a batting average, perfect. But that's when you look at the and to educate, I guess.
I mean, he's 33, so
he really peaked, but he still had like 3 years remaining.
Yeah,
29, I think.
He peaked in like 2017, 18, and 19.
Yeah, so that's around the age group, but he was also hurt
His prime,
a lot coming into it. Well, if we call it that.
Yeah, he only had one. I mean, the most games he ever played was 2018. He played 137 games. That was the healthiest he's ever been.
And as I kind of tell everybody, I'm not one to ever really be fully disrespectful. I've grown past that age. I think we all do. And whenever my teams do bad, I always say fire this person, trade this person. He was always there. But baseball's hard to get rid of somebody because once you designate for assignment, you're hoping someone picks them up. And then, you can always try to option and they can refuse, but it doesn't get you where you want to be. But now he's gone. And now we're just going to see where the hodgepodge of guys that we have in there can get us there, kind of maybe get healthy at the right time. It could be a scary Yankees team, but we're never going to know for sure why, because everybody's still too injured. Like Carlos Rodon still has not suited up yet. And that's sometimes what, Francisco, the cost of doing business. And sometimes when you go for the big contracts, the intention is not for now, but for later. And that's essentially what we're looking at is later. And fine, so be it. Besides that, I really got nothing else to watch on baseball. My nephew.
Only update for me from the Marlins is they're at Coors. They lost yesterday. They suck at getting runners in scoring position to bring runners in scoring position, and starting pitching has not been. I mean, I know they were at Coors, but 5-3. That's all right, I guess, at Coors, but still, overall this season, I mean, Sandy hasn't been dominant this season at all, which is, I don't think it's concerning.
Scary.
I think it's just, I don't think it's that concerning. I think he's just, teams are kind of, he's the guy, so teams are prepping for him more than anything. It's just he has to make some adjustments because he's probably had a couple good, good starts like Vintage, Sandy, and then other ones. It just seems like teams are more hyper focused against him than anything.
Is Schumacher having him go 8 deep like Mattingly did, or are they being restricted towards it?
No, he's letting him go. In fact, he let him go one game, and Sandy couldn't hold it, so that he got pissed off and everything like that himself for doing that. Not Schumacher, but Sandy. But aside from that, I mean, Sandy goes as long as you let him go. He's one of the last few pitchers that they'll let go into the that you're hoping goes 7-8 innings and is throwing 100 pitches, so there's no real restrictions on him. It's just a matter of just him kind of getting focused again and getting sharp. So I don't know, it's just post Cy Young, kind of like you just he's gonna.
It's a draw right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a draw. He'll get back to it. Don't worry. The weather will warm up. The ball won't fly as much. It'll get better for him. He's the ace of the club by every stretch of the imagination, and yeah, I mean, Schumacher's first season as a Marlins manager so far. I mean, they're 500. This is better than honestly. A lot of Marlins fans kind of talk about if you had to ask me before the season, it's like, hey, they're 48 games in and they're 500. What do you think? I'm like, I'll take it. It's better than I thought they would be. So that's pretty much it for me as far as the baseball front. Things are happening. The Marlins had been doing all right, but it just seems like the Braves always keep winning. The Mets have been a joke, which is fun. Mm-hmm. So that's always cool. And then, but the National League's kind of is pretty crowded. There's no standout teams aside from the Dodgers who've kind of gotten hot already. So they're asserting their dominance right now.
The death of the Padres is interesting.
Oh, that's fun.
If we can talk about
the fraud
that
race.
For a second. Yeah, and it's too early for me to even hate them because for those who've been listening the last 2 years and want the refresher, despite I support the team that likes to do this, I have a grand distaste of kind of going with we're just going to kind of buy this team by collective players doing everything, right? I know it's hypocritical. We do it, but the idea is that not a lot of teams tend to do it well to begin with, and the Padres were already like, we got to give Machado his due, and we have. You know, I can say that we have kind of quit that trash talking that we had about him effectively.
Oh, the Mets won 5 games in a row. What am I? I didn't realize. I mean, they were a joke like last week, so that was the...
Yeah. Well, that's baseball, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna get healthy. I mean, they'll get some guys back. Their starting pitcher will get better, which is what it's looking like. And I don't even know who
effectively is their starting pitcher. I mean, off the top of my head, there's a couple.
The Mets?
No, I'm talking about the Padres.
Oh, okay. No, I was just talking about the Mets for a dive. But yeah, the Padres. I mean, you got Yu Darvish. You got freaking Musgrove. You've got.
They don't have Blake Snell anymore, right?
Yeah, Blake Snell. He got injured, right? I think that was the thing. Or I mean, he's sucked since he got there. That was another one of those Rays good trades where they just kind of get rid of guys right when they're just past their usefulness. Hold on, Blake Snell. I'm gonna look that up
because I think didn't the Rays get him back after.
No. Hold on. I don't know. Blake Snell won a Cy Young. Remember, he got pulled in Game 6 of the World Series when he was
and
pitching
they traded
him. Gem, and then he goes off to San Diego and he's 1-6 this season. He's got a 5.4 ERA.
But he's still with the Padres, though.
Yeah, he's still with the Padres.
Oh, okay.
He's 30. Like
I thought they pulled a Aroldis Chapman on them. I don't know why.
Well, Chapman's about to get. I mean, he's going to be like massive trade target. He's been fantastic this season for Kansas City. He got his velocity back.
Yeah, I'm not saying why PEDs, but I'm just saying that's PEDs. Look, time and a place. I enjoyed Chapman when he was there. No bones about it. But I don't miss him. We're rotating a lot of guys right now, but it's part of the game.
I'm just saying he's going to be a high commodity come to trade deadline. Yeah. The Royals,
and then Boston will try to sign
Royals
him
are awful.
For whatever reason.
They're going to get a ton of prospects from him. So fantastic deal by Kansas City. Just letting.
Does
him,
it bother you that Zach Greinke's there still? That's where he decided to die.
Well, Zach. If you've seen the videos on YouTube, Zach Greinke's a weird guy. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't care. He really doesn't care. Like the closest he got to a World Series was with the Dodgers, and then like he's won Cy Youngs. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's not incendiary. I would agree with that. No, he is. He's one of the best pitchers of the generation. It's just the fact that he's moved around a bit. So he's Arizona, Kansas City, L.A. Where else was he? Houston. He was in Houston. Yeah. That was the closest he got to a World Series. He lost to the Nationals, and then he goes back to KC, which as kind of like a farewell thing, and he's just having the time of his life. Really, that's all he cares about. He just wants to mow lawns and and just do weird stuff and be a weird guy. And just be chill.
It is a nice kind of feel-good story where you can have guys just kind of want to go back to where they started out.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew McCutchen back in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates are doing all right a little bit so far this season. I think they're kind of falling back to earth as well.
Which happens.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are starting to heat back up again. I think they'll be back to 500 by the end of this month, and they'll be back in that race. And then the American League Central's awful. That's the worst division. Awful. That's the worst division. Like the Twins. It seemed the Twins spent a ton of money to try and win that division by default. I don't think they're ever going to do it because they're like the Tigers are like 2.5 games behind them.
Would you hate to be all that money that you spent with Carlos Correa just to be barely above 500?
Yeah, and he's been awful this season.
Yeah, because because there's no trash cans, man. And
Jesus. I don't know, is there something wrong with his legs that the Mets and the Giants pulled out?
Well, I would say, you have to ask yourself, baseball's a complicated sport. So this really is different than what we were explaining, but I kind of like this because it's shit talking and we love shit talking. So here's the thing about baseball. How does an injury fully affect your ability to either A, hit the ball on time, or B, field? Because there's some injuries that don't require you to really have to be in the outfield. That's kind of, to a degree, what the designated hitter position can be, or pinch hitting can be, right? So you have some opportunities, is the word I'll say, to kind of still get your selectiveness there. But is he not doing good because he's striking out? Because give me all the injuries that you want, but unless you're saying your hips or your elbow or your shoulders or wrists are too slow to get there, I'm not going to believe it. I can understand just how it is, right? I can understand the effects. I don't know where I'm going in this game now because I got so caught up. You're talking Carlos Correa. Hey, what's up, Freddie?
Yeah, what's up?
We goofing as we goof.
Yeah.
But like, what is the injuries? Because the injuries were his legs and his knees. So to me, that says either A, defensive liability, because it's not like you're Greg Oden who really needs those knees to be running up and down the field, right? And if it's a part of his career where he had to transition from being, was he shortstop to a DH, well, congratulations. You went to where a lot of people go in their careers when they try to play longevity. So my pity well, awfully dry, especially since there was a lot of people who wanted him to go.
Is full though.
Yeah, petty ride or die, right? Unfortunately, we want to be better, we want to be cleaner, we want to be more polite, but I can't be. My paralegal, who knows that I am just a sucker for the petty, sends me an OTA video of Aaron Rodgers faking out at his first Jets practice OTA, faking out, running for a touchdown. I felt the eyeball kind of twitch. It's coming. Getting my blood right in there. But baseball can be intriguing because a lot of money was spent this offseason. A lot of money to teams that don't matter. And then also Boston's sucking right now, even though it's above 500. So it's a good all-in-all effort for Charles, in his opinion. But that's really all I got on baseball, I think,
Freddie, I'm hot and I'm tired and I'm not sponsored by Angry Orchard.
Are we sponsored by Angry Orchard? Never had one.
We're not being sponsored by Angry Orchard. I think, have I had Angry? I mean, I've had hard ciders before. I like them. I like apple. That's kind of fruity. I like fruity drinks. That's my thing. All right, give me something sweet, not something bitter. But yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, all right. He says they're solid drinks. That's for sure. I think I had some at. I don't think it was Angry Orchard, but it was some sort of hard cider back at one of the beer fests at the Marlins Park a few years ago. I went to. Those are fun, by the way. I just need to actually go with somebody. I think that's kind of sad to go to a beer fest alone.
You should.
Like I can do a lot of things.
You can make a lot of new friends there, bud.
Yeah, I go to baseball games alone because whatever. I'm Marlins historian, whatever. I just have fun, and I'll go to hockey games and stuff like that. I'll even go to movie theater alone. But I don't know. I just feel like that's something more of a social thing than anything else. And let's see. Oh, I guess okay. So let's talk about hockey. So Panthers are up 3-0. I was on the Locked On Panthers podcast last night after the victory. I'm psyched. I'm having a good time. A lot of people are having a good time. I'm not as.
You're surprisingly humble, if I can say that.
Well, because of the history of the team, I've been telling people to stay humble. Like the hockey gods are blessing us for the first time in a long, long time, and I'm just enjoying the ride because. Last season, I was more scared of that team last season than I am of this team this year. And it's just because expectations have been lowered as low as they could go. I've been pleasantly surprised after all the stuff with the Boston Bruins. They gave me the lubricant.
This is after all the death of Boston teams. Yeah, we're hoping that you and I can give the eulogy later tonight.
Yeah, well, they gave me the lubricant, so they took out the Bruins. They gave me some lubricant and some nice enjoyment after defeating Toronto, which is good. Oh man, and I've been using the Sports Goofs Twitter account as a Toronto sports trolling account now. It's officially been deemed that any Leafs, Raptors, Blue Jays fans start getting a little too hot, too big for their britches, I'm gonna take them down. And it's been thoroughly enjoyable. I can see why people do that, Charles. Especially when you have all the justification in the world to do so. So it's great. It's great. I was chirping a Leafs fan who was just going off on. I think he might have been. I think it was like a teenager or something. Where I'm just like,
did you make a boy cry maple syrup, Francisco?
I probably did. And then this other guy started ganging up on him too. That was also like a Panthers fan that just came out of nowhere, and his name was Crocodile. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And then he just kept going on him, and I'm like, I just started putting out points like, man, does Google even work in Canada? All these other things like this just. I'm just too smart for him. I just gotta say that I'm just too smart for him. And see, with Toronto fans, any NHL team, any NHL fan base, even the Boston Bruins fans, like you can be an asshole to Toronto fans. I think everybody's justified to do that as well. So that was fun. That was a very fun night for me, and I even got on him on the Raptors too. Because he was a Toronto sports fan. I'm like, man, you guys ain't shit after Kawhi. The Blue Jays getting absolutely destroyed on both ends by the New York Yankees. Like, it was great. Your manager doesn't know how to frickin' the rules about visiting a pitcher on the mound as well. So that's great. Like, I didn't even know that was the Blue Jays manager. I honestly didn't know.
They fired Charlie Manuel in the middle of the season. By the time they got to the All-Star, if you remember,
Charlie Manuel,
not Charlie Manuel. Charlie,
Carlos Tosser?
No. I'm gonna get the name.
Whatever. They fired. Yeah, but they got this guy. He's
Charlie Montoyo.
There you go. Yeah,
I remember because we did handsome list, and I said that man was not handsome. I said some other things, and then they fired him.
Charlie Day. That's Luigi, Freddie.
Luigi.
But I didn't even know that was the manager of the Blue Jays, and he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, which is great. It's going to be great come September. Anyways, let's see. The Panthers up 3-0 on the Canes, and I've been really humble with Canes. Like Carolina fans, first off, Carolina sports doesn't really matter. So that's kind of like all the professional sports teams are not, like how do you get mad at something that doesn't matter? The Charlotte Hornets, the Carolina Panthers, right? There's really nothing that kind of incites the fury as well. The Canes, I mean, they got chippy in Game 3, which kind of gets your ire as a hockey fan. But even when they were in the same division as the Panthers, like it wasn't really like you didn't really hate them. The Panthers weren't really good to kind of challenge them anyways. And
did you just tell them all you had to say to the Raptors?
Both teams kind of
just Vince Carter.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of like Kawhi hit a shot that if he doesn't make that lucky bounce, and it was a lucky bounce, then that's it.
Don't also forget the other thing too.
Oh yeah, the Warriors.
The Warriors were injured.
Exactly. Yeah, half the Warriors were gone. So history is not going to look fondly on the Raptors in the future.
So I guess this, like, to segue, or not to segue, but to sidebar it for something interesting. When is trash talk warranted and not warranted? And when you have these kind of events in playoff season, you are not allowed, and I'm speaking this from a Celtics perspective, a Bruins perspective, and Toronto's perspective here as well. You are not allowed to poke that bear, man, if you were down ridiculous amounts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's a certain point where I'm not the type of fan that's brazen about any of my teams, really.
Very true.
Except the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat and that's basically the Heat Nation, Heat culture thing.
What's the rule tonight? Beppa's all night, baby.
Yeah. So that's really the only team where I can be like, we can be brazen. We kind of, we can be Parakeet Cortez and call in the Boston radio.
Can we just give him a shout out? Follow Dan Levitar, our Parakeet Cortez.
Yeah.
Follow us on the Twitter Charles.
Mike Ryan Ruiz, all those guys. Yeah, they follow me. That's great. I'm happy about that.
They are just a good time, man.
Yeah. So that's cool. And Dan's a real one as well. So
Dan's a straight up real one.
So like that's really the only team that I can be brazen about as well. I mean, shit, man. When LeBron got traded, when LeBron came to Miami, I was at Florida State. I watched the decision. I was cheering. I was up and down, all that stuff like that. And I think I had my sis. Yeah, I think I had gotten like a. I came back home to visit, and I got a LeBron replica jersey, right? One of the cheapo ones from Reebok. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I went back to Miami, or to Tallahassee, and I was up there, and then like, shit, man, I was just walking in the middle of like a parking lot, going back home to my apartment, and there was these guys that just drove up in their car, just screeched like Tokyo Drift style, opened their windows, and just straight up yelled at me, "Fuck the Heat! Magic all the way!" And then he leaves. I just started laughing because this is the first time I'd ever been like yelled at as a sports fan, because I'm a Marlins fan, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I wasn't even a Panthers fan at that point. So like,
you get yells of pity if you showed up in, I'm guessing, in Tallahassee with a Marlins jersey. People give you $5 for a meal.
So like I laugh because I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty slick. That's pretty sick. But I mean, just the bravado of being a Magic fan and yelling that is pretty amazing, because that's a sadness that Andrew famously like supports the Magic, and I'm putting that in quotation marks. Supports the Magic.
We're not attacking Andrew,
and he's Mr. Orlando. You know,
we're attacking the Orlando fan base with this comment that I'm right about to make, if I may.
Oh boy,
you talk about a franchise that
the Magic.
I'm gonna curse the Magic that dick ride so hard that they had Hall of Fame players. It would be the Magic fan base. One of them being Shaq, who left you. One of them being Dwight Howard, who left you. So the dick riding was hardcore. And look, you were talking about two arguably of the best defensive players I have seen in the modern growing up, and then when I was a child. Right? Fair. Shaq was a little bit more offensive, but being a big at that time, circa 96 to 2004.
Shaq was just a different specimen.
Yeah, so, but Howard himself, even though he's playing in China, he's going to be the best damn player in China, and I hope, because we've done the debate, and you've done Taiwan, and you've done a small analysis about why he's a Hall of Famer. But that franchise, I don't know how you could say that when you just got LeBron, and then they also forgot our boy Chris Bosh. Yeah. So, let's see. And see, Freddie, as a Cubs fan, I would yell at someone for being a Marlins fan. I mean, would you, Freddie? Would you? I mean, the Marlins have owned the Cubs twice already in the playoffs, and I mean, honestly, it's. I mean, I don't know if you could yell at us. I don't think you guys are justified for that, right? I mean, okay, fine. I mean, y'all are the ones that destroyed Steve Barton's life for about a decade and a half, so that's great. But I don't know if we're yellable. I mean, we haven't really been relevant to be kind of yellable about. We just kind of. I don't think I ever yelled at you guys for 2003, and we lost to y'all.
Oh, you regret 2003 because you're like, that's one of the ones that got away.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not even a you thing. Marlins is kind of a likable franchise. It's the most neutral. It's neutral.
I personally did nothing wrong. Okay, Freddie. As far as the Steve Bartman
thing. There's a Hynix.
Yeah.
I found a Hynix sleeping. We're playing Zelda.
Oh, those are the easiest ones to kill. I love killing those guys.
Yeah, I just like their stuff, because now I have 80 arrows. I'm not stuck when the first 10 hours of this game, you only have 5 to 10 hours or 10 arrows for whatever reason.
Yeah, we got goldfish brain right now with this. We're just all over the place.
It's pretty sequenced, though. It's actually talking about sports, which surprises me. But anywho, trash talking, back to the purposes of it, I guess. Allowable.
Yeah, I mean, if you defeat a team in a playoff series, definitely allowable afterwards. That's great. I don't like putting myself out there. I don't like being a target of freezing cold takes. Like that's what I would try to avoid. And I know which teams, my teams, like, you can chirp certain franchises. As a Yankees fan, you can pretty much chirp every franchise. But like, as a Marlins fan, we only have like a winning record against like 5 teams, like 6 teams, and like 5 of them are American League teams we barely see, right? So That's really the Cubs and the Giants fans, sure, but even then, it's not even that big of a thing. It's just like we see them in the series, we make fun of them for 2003, and then it's like, okay, then we forget about them, they forget about us, right? The Cubs' ire is like the Cardinals and the Pirates and all those other teams, but yeah, football is always fun. Football is a great thing, college football, I guess, but even then, as a college football, as a Seminoles fan, I'm just like, but anyways, what was I talking about? I was talking about hockey. Yeah. Panthers are up 3-0, and it's all been 1-goal games, which it's just been Sergei Bobrovsky hanging on for dear life, and I wouldn't say hanging on for dear life. He's been fantastic. He's just kind of had himself. He's been in control. I'm
impressed.
Yeah,
as a non-casual until I get NHL 24 on my PlayStation 5, and I will find the appropriate teams to work with. I have been impressed
Xbox,
with his
man.
play.
Just don't buy it.
I didn't buy it.
Redfall is awful.
I instead went with Oreos, Milo's Lemonade, or Milo's. Like the Hispanic side comes out every now and then. Milo's Lemonade and milk, and then of course 5 Guys.
I'd rather you buy a PC than buy an Xbox Series X at this point.
I live in a shack, so it's like it's always tough. Because
Yeah.
I would be unbearable. Because the first thing I would do is find a way to connect my.
I think it's good that you don't have a PC because I mean,
you already know.
You're sending me these Steam sales, and I bought Just Cause 1, 2, and 3, and I liked. I played I think my roommate. Best friend Florida State had Just Cause 1, and I played that a little bit on the side. I'm like, this is fun, like that. Yeah, I like stupid games like that.
It's stupid fun. That's a pure good way.
Stupid
of
open world fun. Yeah. But yeah, man, you be gone, man.
I know. Like there is definitely no
that's
coming
just
back.
that, and I've got like $6,000 in free games that I'm never gonna play.
And I think it's one of those few that I would
Holy
justify
shit,
for me.
the Vegas Golden Knights are up 3-0
Against Dallas.
10 minutes into the first period. Oh boy. All right, sorry.
You're good.
So hockey. That's what's going on. Panthers. That's why I'm also being humble. Is that like the Canes, like one or two bounces, one or two things happen, and suddenly the Panthers are down 3-0. So it's been a close series. Yesterday, I'm hoping that the Panthers kind of broke them spiritually, but that's kind of hard to do to a hockey team because there have been 3-0 deficits that have been overcome, whatever you want to say it, in hockey. It's happened before, and I think the LA Kings did it. I think most recently, or at least the LA Kings did it to eventually win a Stanley Cup. So that's overcome. There, thank you, Freddie. I'm a lawyer, by the way. I don't know how to use words, and I got the Heat game on. By the way, it's already started. So it's.
Oh damn, that's right. It's 8:38.
Yeah,
I gotta kill this Hynix, and then we will get there.
Yeah, I mean, I have it on the side here on my, and I have it on the screen to the side for us. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. It's I don't know how long we'll go through. I don't think we'll do the entire game.
No.
But we're just gonna watch it for at least through the first half, I would say. So that's cool. And that's been hockey so far. It's been great. Matthew Tkachuk is fantastic, and Sam Reinhart with the power play goal which was the only goal for the game. I'm enjoying the TNT crew that's covering, and they're the ones that will be broadcasting the Stanley Cup Finals.
Any big names that I can't say I can recall the big names for the hockey stuff. I'm just used to the love of inside the NBA.
I mean, the TNT crew. I mean, they got the biggest name. They got Wayne Gretzky, so that's who's on there. And then you got Henrik Lundqvist, the goaltender. The handsome boy that I sent you.
Him I know.
Very handsome man, and very sharp dresser as well. The sharpest dresser on that set, by the way. You got Anson Carter, who worked for the NHL Network before, did some stuff on NBC as well. He's on there, and then you got Paul Bissonnette, who's Biz Nasty. He had a very brief NHL career, not really great, but he's got a big personality. He's worked for the NHL. He was on Barstool for a bit, and now he's on the panel there for NHL and TNT's crew, and they work out of the same studio in Atlanta as the NBA on TNT crew. So you'll get some crossover. Charles Barkley's been on as well, and I think Charles Barkley has wanted to go to a Panthers game because he's now becoming a fan, which is great. So I'm hoping the Heat take care of that tonight, and we get Sir Charles tomorrow in Sunrise. So there you go. And that's hockey so far. I mean, there's not much more I can say about it. I haven't really been paying attention to the Golden Knights and Dallas Stars game. All the games have been close there with the overtimes, but Vegas won both, and they're making quick work right now. But Dallas is at home, and it's hockey, which means 3-0 leads can be erased just within a matter of minutes anyways. So, yeah. But if not, that might actually be the first blowout in a while. So that's cool. Aside from that, I've been gaming. And I'm 27 hours into Zelda. I didn't play yesterday.
Good for you. I'm jealous I'm not jealous. I'm rubbing it in your face. I'm playing right now.
I wasn't in yesterday because I watched the entire game, and then I did. I had to, do actual research and actual freaking sports. I don't know, sports journalism, but sports analysis. And then we did a podcast, and then it was midnight by that point. I'm just like, I'm not gonna, because I've been streaming Zelda, which is fun. It's cool, and I haven't really been playing on the side aside from when I went to my parents' house. So I will continue that. I forgot where I left off, but I've been exploring the chasms, and I'm at the Gerudo Temple right now.
Okay.
So I'm there, and I'm going to try and deal with them over there. I don't know if you've gotten to the desert yet.
No, the Rito Village was the first place I went to, and it was just by default that I was just following up something.
Yeah.
This game does not implore you to follow. You can literally, once it opens up after those first 3
They give
hours,
you suggestions, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah, and my whole thing was here I was thinking I was going to progress the story, but I really do want to get my shrines up because Link a bitch.
George
Sportalism. And I haven't had the chance to really get any armor yet. I think they'll come within another 10, 15 hours of the game. I don't really. I finally started getting different clothes. Finally, so I don't have the default stuff anymore. I did find some. I did explore some caves that gave me some interesting buffers.
You want me to give you
some of my attire? Sure.
If you go to the castle, if you find a way to get onto the castle, which means you have to get to one of the sky towers. Yeah. And that's closest to it, and then just shoot yourself up, or find one of those dropping blocks that come down, those dropping platforms, and try and get yourself up there. Yeah. But there's a shrine there. If you get to the shrine, where you can save there and fast travel, and then you go inside the castle. There aren't really there are no enemies. There's no enemy. Well, there's some enemies, but there's once you climb the wall and get past them, there's nothing inside. So if you go to the throne room, there's nobody there. And there's 2 torches, set them on fire, it'll open up, and inside is the champion's tunic.
Interesting. So right off the bat, huh?
You can get that back, which is you get better attack power. It's actually has more defense, which is great. And it's Link, right? He's the blue stuff.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I was just riding along on the horse, running to travelers who told me about possible armors that could be found and everything, and I found one rubber suit that was good for electric shock, which was interesting. Doesn't work, but still. And then another one that allowed, it was just weird. I have the rubber suit, and then I found the warmth greaves for the pants, so you can help with the cold. And another one was just an armor or a top that, in very, very cold conditions, which is perfect where I'm at Rito Village, it can create a frostbite without having to be, doing a mod for the frost emissions of a weapon. So I can freeze enemies without having to use any Zoan art technology. So it's just a little bit of a cool edge.
All right. Yeah, I haven't really figured out all the stuff with like the charger. I think I need to go back up to the Sky World to get better
Yeah,
batteries.
yeah,
So
that's what they have to do. That, or you have to find the Zoan machines. We are
yeah,
not smart people, by the way. I've sent you a couple of Twitter stuff.
I've
And
been kind of experimenting with some of the stuff that's around now, and just trying to like traverse. But I've either screwed it up. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna make a rocket, and then like the whole thing falls apart.
yeah,
And I just fall to my doom.
I'm very weapon based with it. Like I made a rocket spear. So
Okay,
if there's
that's
something
awesome.
that I know is beyond my capacity, I just like make that and I just toss it, because the weapons being tossed for some reason do stronger damage and better damage
Yeah,
than
just
what's
hitting
my
them.
horse act like? Then just hitting them. So I was like, ah, screw it. Like I'm at that point now where my weaponry can be in the 20s, which is fine, even if I don't fuse them. Usually, if you just kill like the moblins or whatever, that will help you, or boblins. But I'm also lazy, and I do understand where this game requires me to get to that point, and we're just not there yet. I'm really just kind of saying, hey, I'm gonna take my time, my way with it, because I feel, you heard me complain about it. It feels cheap for me to just do. I can't live this game and enjoy this game fully if I'm just doing an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Right, of each time. So you do need more, truthfully. The show today gives me ample time to just screw around. I'm with the Lucky
and get
Clover
immersed.
Gazette, so I'm just going to stables and getting information, which is leading to like side stories, and the side stories actually have my interest. The two things that I've noticed from this game, now is the gaming portion of us, the two things I've noticed from this game that I thoroughly enjoy more than Breath of the Wild, I want to do the shrines without looking at a guide
Right.
any way I can, and I actually enjoy doing the side missions that aren't a waste of my time per se.
I've done, I think only 2 of the shrines where I actually had to look up a YouTube tutorial to be like, okay, how do I figure this out? And one of them was because I hadn't gotten the glider yet. So they're like, okay, there's a way to do it without it. I'm like, cool. The Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
Yep.
Is that a Legends in Trouble reference? Is that what it is? I don't know. But so I did that, and then well, the other thing I noticed, like this game, like the NPCs are okay. I remember some stuff. Like the NPCs are like they're better in this game.
Yes.
They're better. Like there's more life to the world, which I guess makes sense. One, because like it's been years, so they can kind of flesh out the actual characters now, and it makes sense for the world. Like, okay, everything's kind of sort of recovering from the calamity, and there's a civilization. Like the towns are bigger as well, which I've noticed. There's more houses, there's more people, there's more all that stuff. So it's more dynamic, and now there's like there's like an actual day and night schedule compared to like almost like Majora's Mask, where only certain things happen at night or midday. Like you have to actually be aware of what time it is for certain side quests. So that's, or maybe even main quests. No, the main quest not really, but like the side quest for sure. The side quest for sure. You actually have to pay attention to what time it is to kind of to complete them. So it does feel a little bit like Majora's Mask. So that's the game's more fleshed out. They could finally focus on all that, and these are like the ideas that they had for the first one. They just couldn't do it on time, or the Wii U couldn't handle it. So that's why we're getting this. But my only gripe so far is like this is the last year of the Switch.
Yeah. Frame rate's the big concern. I mean, look, this game looks beautiful because it was built for the Switch.
Yeah.
It's the performance of having everything in that background. The critique is not graphics. I think that's what everybody goes to. And guys, we're not in 2005 anymore.
Sure.
We're not in 2005. The gripe is about, can you have all this imagery without sputtering?
Yeah.
And chugging and popping.
And I've noticed it. I've noticed it way more.
Yeah. Especially, it's so weird. It's in its combat, and a part of the combat I would not expect, which is when he's trying to do his fueled up spin.
Oh, okay.
That's when I've noticed. I'm like, but you were kind of okay with it.
I've noticed it with just like a few enemies on the screen as well, or you're in a portion of like the world where there's just a bunch of stuff around, and it'll start slowing down or hicking up with the frame rates. I'm just like, I don't know. It's and you know we're spoiled. Like Nintendo's main games usually don't do that.
Yeah.
Even like towards the end of like the Wii, like Skyward Sword ran beautifully for like that system, right? It was still 60 FPS and stuff like that. But this it's chugging at parts. It's chugging at parts.
Yeah.
So I I love Nintendo. I love the Switch. I love this game. But yeah, this is the last year of the Switch. Like next year's got to be when they release the new one. We've waited long enough. They've made enough money. They've sold enough of the systems. It'll last like 2 more years after the new one comes out, right? We'll get those cross-platform games and stuff like that. But like, we'll probably get like one more Pokemon game or something like that. But like,
it's always Pokemon.
Yeah, there's always one more Pokemon game before it makes the jump over to the next one. But like, yeah, we're done with this one. We're not. I can't see another Mario game.
What's your knee-jerk reaction of 30 hours into it? What's your rating? I can tell you where I think it's going to end on my rating, even though I'm only 15 hours in without maybe moving 5% of the story, 10%. But you have more into it that you can tell for the viewers who have to decide if they want it.
I just think if you liked Breath of the Wild, you'll like this one. It's a natural succession to that one. It's everything that they basically, everything good that we had from the last one, we'll just do it again. But now you got these new toys to play with. Here's this, here's that. And they don't really, you're not forced to do, like even in the shrines, like you're not forced to do things the way they kind of like signpost for you to do, right? It's like, okay, you can solve it like this, and it's like a Rube Goldberg machine of some sort, and you can do it that way. And it's like, no, well, what if you're an idiot like me? And you're just like, well, if I just grab the ball, I stop time, and then I move over to this side, and then I grab the ball again, and I just kind of fling it, it'll go inside the little hole, and I can just open the door. Instead of doing the Rube Goldberg machine, right? So you can I've been saying this during my stream. I'm like, I look at a puzzle or you're coming up on like an enemy base or something like that. It's like, I'm going to find a way to stupid my way into that place. So, and that's what I've been doing. There was I went to the beach area.
Laurinello or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I went to the beach area. They've been complaining about pirates and stuff.
Yeah, they've been peppering me with that. I'm like, where is this beach? I'm
so
not anywhere south,
I did find a pirate ship. It's not like the pirates from like Majora's Mask. It's just like bokoblins or whatever. But they just happen to have a ship now. And they're not dressed like pirates or anything. I was kind of expecting more from that, to be honest. But I saw the ship, and it was completely. I didn't plan on seeing this ship. I was just on a river. I constructed a boat, and I was having a hard time trying to steer it because I didn't have anything to steer the boat with. And I'm just at the whims of this river, and it just happened to come upon this ship, and I just kind of jumped up. I climbed up the wall to the side. The pirates didn't see me, and I don't know if you've done one of the side quests where you you get one at the beginning where you see this army general, and he's got a bunch of dudes with them, and you got to help him fight off like a base of enemies.
Yeah, I know the monster forces. I did that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I haven't joined up with him yet.
Okay, so there's one. I mean, you get one early at the first area next to the first tower. So you're like, the way you were supposed to do that mission that I did with the pirates was there were a bunch of them right there just waiting to storm that ship, and then you go help them take out the pirates on the ship. What I did, I didn't see those guys until I finished it. I was like, well, there's a bunch of pirates there. I want to get on that ship. I got a bunch of these bomb arrows. I'm just going to blow it up. So I just blew up every single one of the pirates with all the bomb arrows that I had. And then I climbed up into the ship. I took all their stuff. And then I was walking off the ship. And I just saw these people. And they're like, it's like, did you just do that? Like the NPCs, which is great. They had a dialogue for it. Did you just do that? I'm like, oh, I was supposed to talk to you guys. And then you see side quest completed. I'm like, oh, okay, I did this the stupid way, really, the unintended way. And that's the beauty of this game. So yeah, this is going to get at least a 9 for me.
Yeah, I see the end game will probably 9.5, and that's without playing the story, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's an amazing thing where it's like I really have not
that
even
means the
touched.
stuff's engaging.
Yeah, I haven't even touched the crux of it, and I'm kind of in love with the world of Hyrule because
did you play Horizon Zero Dawn? You said that you didn't really like the side quests or something.
Okay, so if I may,
or Forbidden West, whatever.
So it was Forbidden. So yeah, Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon, I felt was too bloated. It was bloated because it was more of story and was more fetch quests, and there was this natural exploration of a modern day West Coast and an area, and modern day being futuristic. My apologies. So I was in love with that, but I loved Forbidden Shores, which was the DLC because it was more streamlined focus. Because Guerrilla, who does the Horizon games, they have an idea of what they want to do and how they want to do it. And I think they got caught on the idea of bigger and better. Whereas this game is not necessarily bigger or better. It's what you want it to be. You talked about natural progressions. It's just as engaging. It's more exciting. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this now. Maybe you'll agree. Maybe you don't agree. It doesn't feel arbitrary. It was arbitrary for you to play Breath of the Wild in the way that it was constructed. You got to go find we talk about the ability to go and do it your way, but at the end of the day, you just got to find Zelda. You got to go and get the 4 divine beasts. You got to go and somehow stop climbing the gap. Here, they're just like, oh, you can go fucking, do something if you want with XYZ. You can go to Rito Village, you go to Gorons, you can go to that stuff. And then I'm like, I could. Yeah. But once I got off that Sky Island and I saw the potential with the fun playthroughs, I'm like, nah. Yeah. And I literally have it. If you were telling me 15 hours, because the prologue itself is about 3 hours. Of the opening missions, it's about 3 hours.
Yeah,
right?
just to get used to the new powers.
Mechanics. And then you get down there, and they're like, you should go talk. I found Pura naturally, or Pura, whatever her name is. I didn't go immediately to Hyrule to see what's going on for Zelda. I'm like, nah. So that is more engaging. It makes you an enthusiastic gamer. That's how I would say. And that's the best reward that you can have. And not a lot of games get there. So there is no such thing as a 10. Even if I score things as 10s, it's because there was something about it that made me just love it to that. But, they outweigh each other. But if we're really talking about the hard 9s, 9.5s, that's what that's the hit in the veins that I'm trying to get, really. Because that was, for me in my gaming year, guys, I was having difficulty getting to that point. It took Sifu to finally get to 9. I was in the dry spell of 9s, man. There's a reason why they say dress to the 9s. I don't know why, but in the gaming world, I would say we're going to play to the 9s because the idea is that you can give yourself, oh wow, because I listened to you, this is what's beautiful. Because I listened to you about how we get into the sky towers, because I saw those shooting stars, or not the shooting stars, but the slabs that come down. I was like, what's so important about them? And then I hear one advice from you, so now I just elevator up to one of them. See, that's what's beautiful about this game. One itty bitty recommendation that Francisco makes. I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? Holy shit, I'm falling. It's just cool, man. It's just cool. That's all. Oh, that maybe that's the Goofs. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, 9.5. I have to be objective with the technical stuff. But listen, I have played until you guys play Gotham Knights. Come talk to me about technical problems. Yeah, y'all don't know technical problems.
Yeah, or just generic mediocrity of a game. There was nothing mechanically bad about Homefront at all. It was just a very generic video game in the worst sense. It was made by THQ before they died the first time, so which is that kind of tells you all you need to know. Right there. Well, let's see. We're at 55 minutes. I guess we could do a word from our non-sponsors, people, places, things, concepts, what have you been enjoying over the last week. We kind of basically did Zelda here, but that's kind of like our joint non-sponsor, right?
Yeah.
Do you have one for yourself, Charles?
I do, and I mentioned him a little bit earlier. So sometimes in life, you take the W's, you take the L's. But what you need to realize, folks, is that in those W and L's, and what the hell is this thing? It's a 24-hour segment, so you can buffer sometimes them W's. You could sometimes get them wins when life gives you losses. 3.5 hour hearing today. I am not going into the contents of it. It's fine. I don't really. I think it's okay. The whole point, though, is you have to evaluate. Hey, XYZ happened. what am I going to do for me after something that was mentally exhausting, taxing of the brain, going on the gut instinct and stuff. And I texted you and I'm like, I'm hungry. I don't really want like leftover pizza. And here's the thing, I'm going to give a small shout out. Kids, go get the storefront pizzas or store made pizzas. They're not that bad. I'll tell you that right now.
Like
whether it's like Aldi's or Publix,
the Publix brands. Okay, yeah.
They're fine. They're not non-sponsors, but they'll save you more money. We want you guys to save money. It's kind of hard to kind of say, hey, you should pay XYZ, like $15, $20 for gourmet pizza when you're just like, oh man, so tough. That's not my non-sponsor. I was like thinking, man, I'm hungry. What do I want to pay and go from there? And I decided on Oh Reliable. And what's Oh Reliable? Because you guys know I'm not doing fast food. Last week I was a bad boy if I was a goat. And I had Wendy's. Well, this time I decided to have a different kind of burger, a better kind of burger. I went with that Oh Reliable, and I went with Five Guys.
Yeah.
Five Guys, man, $11 for that burger is more than fine with me. And I was like, do I want to get the fries? I'm like, absolutely, I want to get those fries. I know what I'm about. I know who I'm about. I'm going to need that in my belly. I like the Cajun, even though I'll tell you right now, I do not know the difference. And maybe Freddie or you can tell this to me. I don't know the difference between the Cajun fries and the regular fries. I always thought it was the same in my ignorance.
And I'm going to go on the website and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I know I've had both. But they substantially taste the same. Is that they're overloaded and salty and great. I know the Cajun fries have a little bit of the spice to it.
Let's see. So we got Five Guys style. This is how they describe it. All right. Yeah. 530 to 1,310 calories. Dear Lord.
That's fine. I didn't eat lunch today. My lunch was a protein shake at 11 o'clock.
All right.
So... I can't have food during. Hold on. Dragon. I want to see it.
Did you find the Gliok? I mean, there's several of them.
I've seen one Gliok, the electric Gliok.
Okay, the big dragon, the big boys. The big ones
the flying sky
the
one, the electric
ones.
one. But
yeah.
It's so far away. That it just takes me.
I shot one already, and you get their scales.
The scales.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So I wanted it, and how I've been getting them lately: double patty bacon. Got to.
Hold on, but before we do this, I want to see what this. So we got the five. They got Five Guys style, which is this is how they freshly
Freddie
made.
Says yes, it's a spice they put on.
Boardwalk style fries, cooked in pure cholesterol-free 100% peanut oil, cut fresh and cooked twice from on the outside, and mashed potato on the inside. And then the Cajun style, freshly made boardwalk peanut, and then showered with a dose of Cajun spice. That's what it is. So it's a spice. There you go. Yeah, it's
and it tastes great. So how I go with that burger lately, as I'm looking off in the dark for that dragon, is double bacon cheeseburger. I put mayo, tomatoes, lettuce, hot sauce, which isn't hot, but it's watery, so add some flavor. Oh, I'm hungry again. I just ate this like an hour and a half ago, and I'm hungry again.
Yeah.
Dragon, are you coming out or not, bro? What are we doing here? And then I've been putting jalapenos on lately.
Oh, okay.
It has just been
that kick.
Massively delicious. And I got the fries. So I'm literally, and I don't eat in my car, so I was holding off on getting the fries, but I smelt it. I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
I want to talk about that.
We can address that in a second. But I was like, ooh, son of a gun, I want that. But the minute I got home, I grabbed my bottle of water, and I opened my mouth, and I put that fry in, and you know what? It was just kissing Jesus. It was nice. It was warm. It wasn't watered down. Hit that spice. And I was like, oh, man. And what I love about Five Guys, because I'm a fat ass, is the fact that they give me basically like 2 fries when you think about it, because they have enough in the bag to pour over to their small cup. And then I was having enough in my cup. And you know who else loves Five Guys fries? My dog. And he's just staring at me. He's like, hi. I just went to the vet last week. I was a good boy.
Yeah.
I'm like 12 and cute. And like my brother died a year ago. I'm not over this trauma, but you know what happens with the trauma? Eating that fries. I'm like, all right, man, here, take a couple. It's fine. It was very nourishing. It was very delicious. We talk about comfort food and sometimes how we get conditioned ourselves to needing something when we have a hard day or we have a cause for celebration. Instead of, some people do drinking, some people eat candy. I was like, I wanted some nasty food, but my definition is Five Guys is bad for you to a degree, but it's not fast food, so I'll go from there. But it was what the soul needed. The void in your heart needed to be plugged in with. The dopamines and serotonin to be running to the body, and it was just so damn good. Last time I had it like the milkshake, and that nearly killed me. Charles was living on that toilet. God bless the switch. But this was definitely there. So Five Guys, just fantastic. Thank you for existing. Promo code for the soul.
For the soul.
Follow the soul.
All right. So before I get to mine, I did want to discuss. So you don't
Freddie
eat
says,
your car.
he said, I had a jalapeno popper grilled cheese last night. That sounds delicious. I do not eat in my car.
Is that like you've been that way your whole life, or is it just your car specifically? Like, or do you would you eat in somebody else's car? Like, is that?
I hate ants.
Oh, okay.
That's really how I'm
Archer.
going to the
That's how you
pretty
get
much.
ants.
Yeah, well, is he wrong? I don't like things that are creepy, crawly, in my ish coming into it. Not that my car is relatively clean, but part of that is even when it's seasoned, because if you park your car under a tree, and I have trees that are near the carport, sometimes they do come in where you're at and everything, and the moisture. I am an easily distracted driver. I will not confirm or deny if I text or drive. You guys should be so lucky I don't do fantasy football anymore, because there might have been many things that would cause every concerned human being who cares about me like, what are you doing? Trying to make trade offers as you're driving. I'm like, man, I'm stuck in Miami traffic. Leave me the hell alone. I won't even have a drink in my car. I'll have water, but I'm talking about a fountain soda because I also hate a mess. If I spill, I have this unyielding concern that I'm going to have something. And if I had soda, that'll just burst open because someone stops way too early when they shouldn't. And I have to kind of survive. Right. And then there's just soda everywhere and I have to clean up. And then it costs more money for the interior design. And then eating in the car, I might have a French fry. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it doesn't cross my mind. It's a French fry. Who's going to say no? But I don't go kind of past that. And I understand that there are people who eat in the car. And there's times where I made special exceptions. If I'm coming back from a road trip. Oh, what the hell? What the hell is this? Sorry, I got distracted by I thought I was going to go attack some moblins. And then there are fortresses on the back of a talus. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck you guys up with bombs.
I've had that. Yep.
That's a cool surprise. But for your sake, it's just not in my nature. What is your position on it?
I'll eat inside the car. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I kind of figured you're a heathen.
Yeah, of course, man. Sheesh. I've eaten the pub subs and all that stuff. I've found ways. I love. I mean, I hate driving.
I understand that you can't just sit and eat in certain restaurants. I get that. Not everybody has the time. I understand. I understand 100%.
Yeah, and part of it, is also I go, I eat lunch, and I'm eating lunch in my car because immediately once I'm done, turn on the car, I head back to the office. That's what I'm doing. That's how things are going. But and I think
Freddie, that looks good.
To the Discord.
Yeah, he sent the image of the grilled cheese jalapeno popper. The man understands what makes me happy.
Indeed.
High processed fats, spicy stuff. Sorry, Doc. I know I said certain things, but to quote the little meme, I lied.
Yeah. I'm gonna click on this. We go. Oh, that is tasty.
That's my cup of tea.
Tasty morsel. Got the tots and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm good with eating and driving at the same time or what have you. It's just been a thing that I've done. Especially I don't I don't really do it in the city of Miami, but if I'm on a road trip or something like that, a long trip, what have you, going to Orlando, when I went to Tallahassee, man, I made a thing of it. I enjoyed that sort of thing. By myself, got my, I had YouTube playing. I went down. I stopped by. I would stop by a Burger King. This is when my body could process food a lot better, and my metabolism was much better, and I was doing way better health wise. But go there, I would get the burgers, the fries, and the large strawberry shake. That's what I would do. That was the trip. That was in the middle of the trip, I would just stop by and get that. So eating in the cars has kind of been a thing. Heck, even my family, we would go to a Wendy's or something, and we just start eating in the car. The fries and stuff like that. So it's not really a hard line rule. I mean, it's just the way I've been raised. I don't know if the rest of your family is that way, or that's just you in particular.
They in the car. They eat in the car.
Okay.
My father's a forklift mechanic, man. Him and mama eat in the car. I think that's how we were raised too.
All
It's
right.
just me having the car, and I try not to be
Okay.
disrespectful for it. If they tell me, Freddie says to speak it to rub it in. They tell me that if I want to eat in the car, that's fine. I don't know. It's not so much of a manners thing. It's just a pet peeve thing. I don't judge anybody who does it. I just know my OCD.
Okay. Have you had people like in your car try to eat in your car, and you're one of those people that's like,
I've never been in a position to refuse someone eating in my car because I will literally take them to go eat.
Oh, okay.
In the restaurant.
All right. So yeah,
So
you never had like the fast food run, and you got the bags and the fries and all that stuff like that.
Gotta remember, I really cut that out a healthy amount, and then typically
I'm just saying overall, like in your life, like.
So can I expand on this fun story?
Go ahead, man.
So there was a point like 5-6 years ago, I had my nephew from up north with me, and I took him like to the
Celtics fan.
No, not him. We disown him. Suck it, Antonio. I hope you lose tonight. You're disowned. I love your sister more. So listen. All fair, man. All fair. Don't bandwagon something that doesn't have any victories. I was never a Golden State fan. Bullshit. You gonna lie to me? I remember everything. He came in my mother's own birthday with Boston Celtics shirt. Your reaction was great. It's like you basically did the equivalent of what I do when I go and say, hold up. Hold up here. What is this? We need to have a discussion because there's some ish going on that I don't agree with. But no, so the other one, because I have multiple nieces and nephews, but not really close with them. But with this one, they had come down. I think I took them like Sonics or something because, they just came from New York. So I was like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he wanted to fry my car. I'm like, such and such. Don't eat my car, man. Don't eat my car. That's what's up. Because listen, yeah, what is the age of your oldest niece or nephew?
My nephew is 7.
All right, I'm going to give you some information about that 7-year-old that if you haven't realized it yet, I'm about to tell you. Kids are fucking pigs, man. And yeah, you have to go militaristic sometimes with it.
Okay.
On the idea of like the food and stuff like that. I'm sure maybe yours are okay, but you'll be finding like the missed French fry, the ketchup packets, the sauces are slightly open. Did you put everything in the bag? Yeah, I put it in the bag. I don't like being lied to. All right. I don't like being lied to. I got trust issues. So I expect adults to lie to me. It's what I do for a living. People lie to you all the time. When a child lies to you, having chocolate smeared on the handle of your car. I don't know, man. If you stand for nothing in life, Francisco, you'll fall for everything. They'll let your nieces and nephews as they get older.
I haven't really experienced like the really, and I don't really mind it too much. My car, I have to clean my car. Yep. Like outside, it's clean. I have the car wash with a subscription and all that stuff. But like inside, I need to grab the portable vacuum and give it a once over there. But aside from that, like the only thing that I have a pet peeve of as far as like cleanliness is like sharing stuff with people within my space. Is my gaming stuff. Because I've had the cousins back when I was younger.
They fucking pick at your controller. I'm like, why are you ripping at that?
Yeah, they people. Yeah, I don't know. So, I've seen bite marks. I've seen like that, and they're not from a dog. No, they're from kids. I've had like I've gone over to cousin's house and just like, why is this sticky? What? Do you do? Like it's so. Because like gaming's precious to me.
Yeah.
I've been to cousins' house that were just like they had like their discs flung on the floor. I'm just like, these things are like $50.
What about when they're holding it and how they hold it, and they're just like colliding with something? And I'm just like, bro, I was like you only like second cousin. We ain't even that related, man. Like I will end your ish.
It's been, I've had just. I've gone to cousins' house, and this is kind of like the OCD in me. When I've gone over, I'm just like, I gotta organize this. I've organized my cousins. Like when I did sleepovers in Miami, and I came down from West Palm Beach. I've actually spent like like an hour or so, just like, you know, they're over off doing whatever, watching something else, you know, like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or something like that. And I'll just be like sitting there like just organizing their game collection because I'm just like, these are precious gifts from God and we must take care of them. Like, that's how much it meant to me. And lo and behold, my game collection is worth something now, and all my cousins have got rid of all their stuff. So I'm just like, man, I should have just been like, I'll take it, because my collection would be massive right now. I would have made a killing with some of the games that they had, especially like on the GameCube. So they had some like weird stuff on the GameCube that I know would fetch a pretty penny. So it sucks. Oh well.
As I tell people, I'm Argentinian Colombian, man. I'll cut out family like nobody's business. Ain't no sweat off my back, man. You know, I don't need you.
Okay.
So you're non-sponsor.
All right. So yeah. This is
we created an animal. Freddie,
show.
Freddie, tell us in the chat if you're in your car or not, please.
Stop having tasting controls, Freddie. So yeah, Freddie, do you eat in vehicles or other people's vehicles? Because I really don't mind that at all. To be honest, y'all just chow down. Just don't make that much of a mess. Like, I get crumbs and stuff like that. I get that, but like, you know, I've never had anybody actually spill anything of any note. But not if I'll be home soon enough. That's fine. That's reasonable. So like, oh yeah, my non-sponsor. So, like Zelda has taken over for sure. And it's been an obsession. I think about shrines. I think about the lore. I think about what's going on. But it is I have the Xbox One. I got the PS3 hooked up as well. I have the Wii U. But none of those. I have the PC. None of that is getting any attention right now. Everything's been set aside, and it's all Zelda. However, because we have during Heat games, I'll play Zelda during Heat games because I have confidence in Heat. But during Panthers games, I don't play, and because I'm fully focused on the Panthers right now. So it's a nice reprieve. I get to take a little bit break from Zelda, right? I don't go completely insane with being within Hyrule. However, when the game ends, and you know, we had the quadruple overtime game that ended at 2 a.m. and the other overtime game, and then this past game, and I was on a podcast after that. So I still like to game as a kind of get myself ready to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I before I would play like Smash or Rocket League or something like that, just a couple matches, or Splatoon, and go to sleep. But because Zelda's in the Switch, so I can't play Splatoon or anything like that because I have to switch the cartridge. I don't feel like doing that, and I don't want to change to Rocket League or Smash. So I've been on my phone and I downloaded a baseball game. So I have MLB The Show, but the Xbox isn't getting no love right now. It's not plugged in. I don't want to switch, and I don't have that many HDMI ports. And I bought one of those like extender things, but like I'm not doing that right now. So no Xbox. We're not playing MLB The Show, but I still want to play a baseball game. So the app stores, Apple or Google, whatever, the Android stores, like they've got some pretty slick baseball games. And the latest one that I've been playing is MLB Perfect Inning 23. It's got your boy, Garrett Cole, on the cover.
Yeah.
I've started playing it. I just found it out of a whim. Just like, let me look, because I was looking up the other one that I had previously downloaded on my phone. I just didn't find it, and so I was just looking it up, and I searched, and I saw this. And graphics are okay for a mobile phone baseball video game. This would have been like probably the best looking game on the Xbox 360 a long time ago for a baseball game. It's got all the microtransaction mechanics and all stuff like that, but you don't really have to do them. You can kind of get some slick baseball players for free. I got a team with Garrett Cole. My rotation is Garrett Cole, Sandy Alcantara. I forgot the other pitchers. Justin Verlander. At least those three. I got those guys like basically out of the gate, which is insane. It's like I don't even have that in MLB The Show. in Diamond Team, so it's better. My team is better on the phone than it is on the console, but graphics are pretty good. They have all the modern stadiums and all that stuff, and it's easy. It's an easy game. Just kind of touch and play. You can choose to pitch. You can choose to just hit. You can just do that. Or you can just have it play automatically if you just feel like doing it kind of sort of like a fantasy element. They have like a trade market, so you can trade players or sell off players or buy players for yourself. And I mean I've been enjoying it. That's kind of been the number 2 game for me lately, aside from Zelda. It's kind of like the down period when I'm not playing Zelda and I'm just sitting in my bed and just be like, let me do this. I can listen to a podcast while I'm playing, and it's just like, this is nice and delightful. So MLB Perfect Inning 23. Yeah, promo code Cole Job.
I had a tear in my eye. You see, there is one Cole Job that we got tonight, just not what was expected.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees tied the game. It was 4-4. Oh, no, Baltimore took a lead again. Okay.
Yeah, and then with the Heat, I'm just checking on my computer right now. They're down. Oh, they're up. Yeah. What I've noticed, I don't know if you believe in viewership jinxing, but I feel like a good hard component of that is that if I watch the first game in the beginning with the first half, that's when the doom hits, and then I get like really bent out of shape. And then if I just let the third quarter come aside,
tune in when the fourth quarter starts.
Yeah, but is that not how the traction's been, right?
I mean, that's what I've been doing. Well, no, game 3 I watched pretty much the entire game.
Same.
So
but like game 2 was I was with my betrayer nephew, and he was like busting, and going from there. I'm like, boy, shut up, because I'll hit a 16-year-old. We ain't soft in this household. And then I forgot to text him because I'm humble. I know, shocker of me saying that I'm not going to rub in the face of, I don't rub in the face of anybody, truthfully. I mean, I might go on like the Twitter spree, and I might, tweet out to what you put in or what Jeremy Taché puts in, or, stuff like that, pretty much, friend of the show. Follow him on Ballet Sports and all that fun jazz.
As he ascends the sports media ladder.
He made me listen to Strokin', because that was the running joke, or not, I don't know if it was a running joke, but that was the thing of like one of the Jimmy Butler post-matches songs was Strokin' by Clarence Carter. I was literally listening to it today before we came on the show, and I was like, there is no God. That's my answer after I heard that song. It's basically about banging, but it's like in the 80s where it's talking about banging. He's like, I'm stroking to the east, stroking to the west. And when I'm with my lady, I stroke it to the best. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, don't do a sound clip of that, because people, if my job heard, they'd be like, is he like that one Dr. Ruth lady that used to do things on the Sex Network? I'm like, no, I'm quoting a song. Let me ask you this: should we just transition to NBA, or do we want to do the cage? Because now we got me thinking coming into it. Because I felt like the jinx mentality.
I mean, NBA was basically just us watching. Oh wait, but I mean, do you want to talk about I do. LeBron and the Lakers and Jokic and all those guys? Do you want to? Yeah, we can talk about it.
I would gladly like to, for a couple of reasons. Yeah. I guess the cage is gonna be fine as it is. You guys will hear some stuff. So Western Conference Finals, a full sweep. Nikola Jokic basically just end all be all, proverbially whoops that ass with Jamal Murray,
made everybody
putting Lakers out,
regret their MVP voting.
Well, you know what? He's a very humble man, and this is so weird to be on the flip side. That Andrew, if he was with us today, he would just kind of be like he's dead, right? But if he was with us, he'd be like, "You're being humble." I'm like, "Listen, I'm an objective person. We've talked about this. I was the same way I was Jimmy Butler. I'm like, I don't see him in Philly, but here he's perfect." The Parasaurolophus phase. Dinosaurs are cooler when they're extinct. Why? Because if they were alive, contrary to Francisco's wants, they would kill all of us and we would not survive, as Jurassic Park and Jurassic World has taught us. But my beginning statement was Jokic, and from very early into the season, was I not saying like, oh, Jokic is the MVP to me? Joel Embiid having the scoring that high was irrelevant to me. Why? Because that tends to happen. I need a full, complete posture to decide why somebody should be MVP or not. And this man was so close to being a big lead in triple-double. He did have the first seed in the West, and the West was just as hard as the East. The East wasn't actually as bad as people thought it was, because we're stuck in that rut of what is good or is bad. They were competitive bunks of conferences. But he elevated his play until Jamal Murray had made the rounds. But they went with Joel. Obviously, 76ers eliminated by Boston, of all teams. So there's that. And then Denver just had kind of gone through. And the Lakers itself, I don't know how you got to fight for your guys. And you have to be smart with your shots. And everybody has kind of been poop in the bed where D'Angelo Russell was not playing well, and he was benched to be part of the rotation, on the bench rotation. Anthony Davis was not playing well. And there's LeBron, who ended the night at 40. You can tell listen, I will say poor man, because contrary to belief, there's only a handful of people, and I'm one of them, that just didn't hate LeBron. I didn't hate him when he coming out. I didn't hate him when he came to the Heat. I wouldn't have hated him even if he comes to the Heat, because I do, in my life, I got the Jordan back 9 era. 96 to 2000, essentially. I was only but of 7. And what I hate about the young ones who we're arguing with now, not my nephew, thankfully, but who we have kind of argued with, is that you weren't alive during that time. So there is that process where people tell you who's good and people tell you who's bad. It's nature. I got to see the back 9 of Jordan, but I was always there for the full LeBron. And what he was is that he's one of those few number 1 picks right out of high school who not only just fit the bill, they remade the bill in his image. He kind of hit that progression where he had 4 MVPs, 4 championships amongst 11 appearances with 3 different teams, each one not having really a carryover except for that Miami Heat team that went back to back to show anything. You guys really have to love it and appreciate it. And the funniest thing to me is that we're always going to be chasing that that high of that kind of generational talent for the next, I don't know, long period of time until it happens. We're doing with Victor Wembanyama. We've tried to do it with everybody who was number 1 pick and they were a bust, right? And then as much as we give credence to our love of Kobe for the fan base, God, people realize Kobe wasn't number 1 overall. Sorry. So it's a different kind of thing. Where we're getting that comparison. So this man who is 39, I am 33 years old, and I'm an achy, breaky boy, man. Achy, breaky boy. And I couldn't go 40 minutes. I could barely go 5 minutes, on the treadmill without my heart giving out. So he gives 40 minutes, and what has been typical of the Lakers in the series, because I did watch to the best of my ability, what has been typical of the Lakers this series, most importantly, was the fact that they actually could build some sustainable leads, but they couldn't close out. This is part of the problem when you have an experienced coach in Darvin Ham, and I'm sure Darvin's going to be fine. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, right? And this is also what happens when you have players that are primarily on the offensive side. And here's the thing about defense in basketball. It is truthfully non-existent because half the time they are canceled out by the fouls that are called on a player, right? We might not realize it or recognize it. But when it comes to the playoffs, the refs get kind of lazy and they ignore the precedence, unless your name is Scott Foster. They ignore the precedence of what they were doing way ahead of time. You know what I mean? So what they couldn't do for him was being counteractively done differently for what that Denver team was doing to lead to that elimination. And it just let out what they went through. And mind you, it wasn't so much that LeBron had to be the 40-point guy and still couldn't get it done. That's sometimes an errors we want to make. It was the fact that no one else could even come to level of play, and they were so slow moving on a lot of stuff that I feel bad for him, but I understand he's out there. But as I tell people, oh damn, I missed that. As I kind of tell people, what I've noticed, and this is a small little ESPN journalist in me, and when we say small ESPN journalist in us, it's talking about without any proof and just opinions. He doesn't seem to be enjoying everything about that team and that organization as he did with Miami or with his return back to Cleveland. And now he's kind of playing retirement. And congratulations, Laker fans and Laker organization. You made probably one of the people not want to fulfill his contract in full. Congrats. Good job.
I think LeBron probably, because he signed was a 4-year contract, right? That's basically his whole deal.
His last contract is 1 more year, and then
was it this year? It was this year,
a player
right?
option. Yeah, so he's got 1 more year and a player option. Yeah.
Okay, so because he's been doing the 4-year stuff. He did it in Miami, then Cleveland, then now LA. So like he came in and he had two motives when he came to the Lakers. I mean, one, he wanted to play for the Lakers because of like the prestige and all that stuff. And he thinks because of the prestige, he could attract players to come with him because he's LeBron. And then, of course, he had the side stuff of his, movie career and his movie ambitions and studio ambitions, making entertainment and that type of stuff. So, I mean, he's accomplished that side, right? With the movie stuff, he's produced. Now they've produced movies, got his own studio. Was in a sequel to Space Jam, whatever.
He made the House Party movie.
Yeah,
didn't need a sequel or reboot, but what do I know?
Yeah, so he's done that stuff. So he's there. But I think the basketball stuff, which is kind of what, as much as he's going to do all that movie stuff and it's going to propel some stuff on the side, he's going to be known as being a basketball player, right? Yeah. That's going to be the thing. Because, like, Jordan's done a bunch of stuff.
I mean, being a terrible owner, if you want to put that as the top of your resume, by all means. That's why he's trying to sell it.
But in any case, Jordan's done a bunch of stuff. He's got his hands in a bunch of things as far as investments and everything like that. He's got he's down here right now, probably at his golf course. So like he's but he's ultimately remembered as a basketball player. Yeah. It doesn't matter all the millions of other stuff that he's done, right? I think he has like a race team in like NASCAR and stuff like that, or Formula One. He's got a bunch of stuff because like Jordan likes all kinds of sports and stuff because he loves gambling.
Yep.
So that's the reason why. Watch him buy the Ottawa Senators because they're still up for sale.
He's like, I don't know anything about hockey, but I know you can bet on hockey with DraftKings.
Exactly. And well, hockey is pretty tough to bet on because it's such a random sport. So, but in any case, but of course, Jordan loves the thrill of that. But LeBron did all of that, and now he's at the end of 4 years. And at the end of 4 years, it didn't really. As much as I think he tries to not let it bother him, I think there is a part in the back of his head that's like that really wants to win one more and kind of take away the smell of the 2020 championship.
Yeah, well, he's got the Kobe DNA, and I know everybody who's riding that dick, hates me for saying it, but Kobe was known for wanting to be a winner. Mm-hmm. LeBron wants to be a winner. He would. How do I want to say this delicately? I'm not going to try to throw shade on Carmelo Anthony. There's a lot of
He just retired. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen. You can't say you just retired if you didn't play throughout the entire season. I'm sorry. You have been retired. You were unwanted.
Yeah.
Let's stop with the semantics.
For 2 years, right? Yeah. Right.
Well, he was with the Lakers last year, I think.
He was. Oh, okay.
The truth hurts, but it's not it's not a secret truth. You did not shed light onto it, bud. And I like Carmelo Anthony. It doesn't help that for me, his career is. I dedicate this monument to the memory of the souls lost committed. Zelda. What did I found a grave? Interesting. Okay. I do not think that Silent Princess Lovely Flower was said to. Sorry. Okay. Cool. I do not think that the highlight of your career should be still the fight with Kevin Garnett, but that was my favorite highlight. So I get to have what I want sometimes.
Not Cheerios.
But the man cared so much about winning that not only did he go to the franchises that he wanted to go to that he felt not only maximized his best talent as a player with the coaches, but also he was quick to demand players come in there. And some people might complain like LeBron was a play GM, he wants to do this. Whereas I got my boy Damian Lillard just dying out there in Portland. Where like his third best option is Al-Farouq Aminu. Yeah, we're going on hard names here. Or even, you have Bradley Beal who's like, I got the contract, but I'm happy to be here. If you call yourself, and this is where he is a little Jordan, a little Cody, we're going with Gage. Kobe is that if you care so much about winning, aside from the pay cuts LeBron took to a certain degree, if you care so much about winning, wouldn't you want to maximize the best talent around you? So he had that effect that Kobe had, and that Jordan had, where they would kind of make those demands to the GMs because they felt if you considered me to literally just not be the franchise for now, but the franchise forever, I'm going to want you to do all these things. And that's commendable. And the fact is, now we're seeing the end of that, because I'll tell you now, bud, in the current spiel of things, I don't see many players out there who would have that kind of, one, it is a little bit of audacity to do so, but two, that clout to get you there at all. And you need to appreciate it, because here's the thing. He is the player who backs it up. He's the guy that you want. Don't quote to me that, oh, he doesn't play all 80-something games. I don't care. Not even the highest paid guys do. Oh, he's been injured. Yeah, he's 39. He goes hard in the paint. The man's not faking it. Oh, we just hate him because, he whines and complains about fouls and everything. So does your favorite player. And LeBron had the effect of the Kobe and Michael effect of, and this is where I have to take a slight shot at Jokic, who I just called MVP, and I've forgiven him for being a dinosaur. I said, you know what? There was still Jurassic Park and Lost World. It's okay. All dinosaurs are forgiven. LeBron was your mainstream capability, because not only did he convince people to buy not just one kind of jersey, right? His jersey. He convinced people to buy Cleveland Cavalier jerseys. Convinced people to buy Miami Heat jerseys. Convinced people to buy, Los Angeles Lakers jerseys, even though that was always bought up the whole time. But that's the point of what I'm making. So I don't think he's retiring. I think he's going to play it out. But the wanting of playing with his son one time is hard, because you have to structure so much to happen. It's a pipe dream. You could be your son's agent, next best thing. Lamar Jackson mama got a bunch of cash, even though he's self-represented. So I think
that's LeBron's. He's gonna. I mean, we'll see how his son actually does in college. To see if
he's going to USC, so it's going to be a one-and-done season. I mean, but I will say it's unfortunate. That's how his story.
Well, it depends, right? It depends on the one and done. Because what if he sucks?
What if he sucks?
But what if he's not ready? What if LeBron's like? What if LeBron, as a dad, as a father, as a basketball father, is like
a pappy?
And what if he's just like, hey son, maybe if you go one more year, you can raise your draft stock and all that stuff and everything like that. Because what's the point of doing all that, and he's only a second rounder at most, and that's just because of his name, right?
I don't think it's gonna have the Tim Hardaway Jr. vibe or the Scottie Pippen son vibe, but I understand where you're coming from.
Exactly. I'm just saying things could go that way, right? The NBA only has a few spots drafted every year, and he's got competition. And what if USC doesn't make the NCAA tournament, right? There's all kinds of things that could happen. So it's not like USC is a bastion of it's UCLA. That's the school, right? That's the school. You notice he went to USC, didn't go to UCLA.
Trash.
So that's the prestige school compared to the other one. So that's but in any case, I think he's at a crossroads right now. He's at the point where maybe also as a father, as a daddy, he's probably also thinking like, man, his son could be overshadowed. Because there's only so few players that have done it like that. And even then, in hockey, you had Gordie Howe play with his sons, but Gordie Howe is literally Mr. Hockey. That was the nickname that everybody gave him. He's one of the greatest players of all time. So his sons were nowhere near as good as him. So and he played into his 50s. That was, that was a nice story and all that stuff. But I mean, his sons definitely were overshadowed by their dad. And then you had the opposite effect, which was Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad. Senior was an all right baseball player. But Junior is the better player. He was the phenom, all that stuff like that. So that was a whole different situation where the dad was washed, but the Mariners were terrible, and
they wanted to feel good moment.
Junior was the hot shot, and let's do feeling. Let's sell some tickets. Let's just do that. So LeBron's kind of a weird thing where it's just he's. It's a weird thing. If he and his son were on the same team, he would probably be better than his son, right? And that's not great for the son to kind of establish himself. Now this is I don't know. I think he might want to be out of the league in order to kind of let his son be at least have a stand on his own 2 feet. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing because I could see LeBron's had like talks of like ambitions. I don't know if he actually wants to do it, but he's met with Tom Brady and he's worked out with him, with Jaromir Jagr, these guys that lasted, into their mid-40s. So it's not like he's not wanting to do that. Maybe he does want to be one of those players, but maybe he's also at a crossroads like, well, my son's now old enough to possibly be in the league by the time I start doing this and try and be at the top of my game doing all this. But yeah, I mean, Dwight Howard had that video. I don't know if you saw the video of him having like a pretend conversation with LeBron, trying to convince him to come to Taiwan. Where he's like, you've already like broken all these records, all these championships, come on over. Like, so that's,
the argument is compelling.
Yeah, I mean, go to Taiwan, have some fun, whatever. But of course, LeBron's never going to do it. I don't know. I won't mind if he comes back. I won't mind if he's playing until he's in his 40s. But it's a weird situation. It's a unique situation. This has never really happened in any other sport where there's a possibility of the son of a guy of this caliber. Like usually most athletes, yeah, there's great hockey families, great baseball families, but they're usually separated by a lot. Right, you never really see fathers and sons playing together in the same league at the same time.
I can't name you juniors that were good at all.
Yeah, there's very few.
The only ones I could tell you is the Ball family, because Daddy didn't get far at all.
Yeah, well,
about him.
Yeah, there's that, but like Barry Bonds was clearly better than his dad, so you had that. You had I told you about the Howes already. Bobby Hall and Brett Hall they were both Hall of Famers, so you had that. But of course, Bobby didn't play with Brett. They had a time of separation there, so there was no real overshadowing there. But eventually, yeah, but they both ended up being Hall of Famers. That's probably the closest I can get up to actual the apple not falling far from the tree type of thing.
Ironically, wrestling has a whole bunch of later generations that were better.
Oh well, I mean, Rocky Johnson and The Rock?
Yeah, Rocky Johnson, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. You had also Cowboy Bob Orton and Randy Orton. That's another one you want to kind of consider.
Now you have something.
Yeah, right. Look, it's almost as if I have it all connected without having you guys.
I mean, we can do it. We're at halftime with the Heat game. It's 56-50.
All right, let me save.
Yeah, save. I mean, the game automatically saves a lot.
Well,
that's
a
good thing. The checkpoints are pretty good. Yeah, I know. I do the same when I finish the stream.
Because if you get to Rito Village and you take that whole, how Lucky Clover is looking for a journalist?
I haven't done that side quest yet.
Well, that's in Rito Village. You can find them. But so they're telling me I've done 20 hours of Zelda. I don't believe you, as I realize I spent almost 2 hours doing this shit. Maybe I do believe it, but that's the whole thing about the game. It's just mindless fun. It's fantastic. So welcome, everybody. Your weekly Truplex, The Cage with Charles. Remember, wrestling is not fake. It's scripted. It's a stage fight. It's a song and dance, poetry and emotion. Despite it's not ballet, according to superstar Billy Graham, who has passed, even though I think it's ballet, not disrespecting the dead. There's a difference of interpretation. How do you like your wrestling, kids? I'm your wrestler and I'm your maitre d', right? Whisper what you want. You ain't never had a wrestling analyst like me. It's about men and women being the holy hell of each other, chasing championships, establishing their legacies, and a whole lot of fun. And Francisco, it's just too much. It's just too much. How am I supposed to play Zelda, work out, you'll see why, live my life on a holiday weekend and see, family and friends and everything in between, and watch wrestling? Because there's not one. There's not two. There's 3 pay-per-views this weekend. I told you guys we're going to be in it to win it. We're going to be in it to win it, as they are in Letterkenny saying. And the in it to win it is, I got to talk to you about wrestling.
Oh, boy.
On 3 pay-per-views. So WWE, it's a shorter segment than you think, because I'm not really going to pinpoint stories or highlights. I'm going to give you the predictions, but there's some stories that come into it. But WWE is doing 2 pay-per-views. They have NXT Battlegrounds that's happening on Sunday, the 26th. You have Night of Champions, which is happening at Saudi Arabia at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I'm barely rolling out of bed at like 11, man. And I got to go to the gym, and I got to avoid spoilers. And I don't think and that one has an importance. And then you had AEW's Double or Nothing, which last year I partially saw as I'm in the Seminole Hard Rock Casino on margarita number 4, and God forbid what was happening if I went on that 5th margarita. Let me tell you, realize I'm not winning money, but my boy is in the slots room, and we're not going to the Hard Rock this year. It's okay. We avoid sometimes, right? But it was a good time. That's when the Heat got eliminated by Boston, so it almost feels perfect that I'm doing this on the podcast where we're burying Boston and we're winning 56-50. Please, God, let it happen. Let the revenge be sweet and not cold, but fiery to ruin their taste buds. They're doing Double or Nothing, and then you have Night of Champions NXT Battleground. So how are we doing this? Well, first and foremost, I'm not even going to talk about the pay-per-views. There's been a shit ton of injuries happening in all of wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling, I believe Tomohiro Ishii has hurt his neck. We love Tomohiro Ishii. Mercedes Moné, aka formerly Sasha Banks, who wrestles for NGPW now. New Japan, she busted her ankle. I sent you that video. I feel bad for her because she was out there making that legit money. Taking that chance on herself.
Was that the one you sent me?
Yeah, where she fell off the top rope and her ankle went there. She went to finish the match. She was supposed to win the match. She calls an audible, tells the ref she ain't doing it. Tell Willow Nightingale, because it was for the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Championship. The Strong series is usually the U.S. stuff that they're trying to get people over, for Americans to be into their database. This stuff that they like. Actually, no, it wasn't Tomohiro Ishii. My apologies. It was, God damn it, they have so many similar names. Because it's an Ishii. He's in Bullet Club, man. He's in Bullet Club. I will get to that to correct that error because I feel like that was my bad going from there. But she hurt herself. Was it Hiromu Takahashi? No, it wasn't Hiromu Takahashi. This is an old one. Yeah, this was a couple years ago. Damn it, Google. Why can't you do things better? I swear. It's bothering me. It's going to get me, man. Tell me something. Anywho, let's get back to it. So she had just kind of busted herself up, busted her ankle. It's ankle. It's going to take some time to get there for her. You can only have some suspicions of what it's going to be and how she's going to come back. And then in WWE's standpoint, they had the women's wrestling that was coming in, women's tag team championships that Raquel Gonzalez, or Raquel Rodriguez now, and Liv Morgan held. And what happened was that Liv apparently, she either separated her shoulder or she did Taji Ishimori got hurt. I had to deep dive that, man. It was bothering me so badly. I don't prep for the show anymore when it comes to the cage. I let the spirit tell me. But Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez had to vacate their women's tag team titles because I guess she had some kind of a separated shoulder coming from there. And then the person that she was going against that match, Dakota Kai, tore her ACL. So it's like, damn. And here's the thing that you guys need to realize about injuries. Yes, cards are always subject to change, but there's always a story that you're pushing. You might have certain things in light for that person, what you wish to do. But also when the injuries kind of mount and they come up, who is next person up? You might not have that available to you. And it's kind of like a bummer. I hate when injuries happen because you realize people are gone for a long period of time. And then you end up kind of missing them a little bit. Case in point, when Kenny Omega was gone for AEW for a long time, I was like, damn, it doesn't feel the same. I'm kind of sick of half of this stuff going on. I'm sick of talking about CM Punk. Let's bring back Kenny, even though they have the very interesting stuff. But pay-per-views happening all around. So how we start this? Let's start with Battlegrounds and then go to AEW. So NXT Battlegrounds. It's going to be live on Peacock. Get Peacock. It's $5. You guys can watch old episodes of The Office and realize it's not as good as Parks and Rec. I'm sorry, somebody had to say it. Yeah. It's good, but it doesn't hold up just as well. You still love the Jim and Pam romance, even though they try to separate. You still love Michael Scott, but then really if you had The Office during the woke culture part of the society, it wouldn't survive. But still some of the funniest lines I've heard, and I still enjoy it, and we love Dwight. So anywho, matches going on for NXT Battlegrounds. It's on right now, NXT, so they're getting to this part of it. The women's championship was vacated by Indy Hartwell. They are going through progression matches to get to the finalists. Whoever wins, that wins. I'm guessing it's going to be Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. They've had this song before. They've had this dance before. They've had grudge matches before. This time will be the first time to get a title. Friend versus friend, or former friends versus each other. You know how that goes. I predict Cora Jade's going to win. Am I invested in storyline? Let's see. Because that's how I'm going to do it with these very 3 cards. I'm going to say, am I invested in it or not invested in it? And I'll tell you why if I am. Gallus versus the Creed Brothers, NXT Tag Championships. Creed Brothers, former NXT Tag Champions. They did not get called up. Pretty Deadly got caught up. Yes, boy. We love those guys, by the way. We love Pretty Deadly. They're on SmackDown. Watch them. Gallus is fine as tag team champions. I don't really care for the story behind it. I will care for the match. They didn't have enough time when they had the last pay-per-view or the last TV special when it was that Fatal 4-Way setting up for the tag belts. But, sometimes if I'm going to get good wrestling, that's all I need at the end of the day. Wesley versus Tyler Bate versus Joe Gacy for the NXT North American Championship. Invested, but with a caveat. So Wesley has been a great champion. He's been defending those belts. You guys heard me hyping that up when he defended against Dijak and when he had a Fatal 5-Way a couple weeks ago. It was good-ish. I was enjoying it. During WrestleMania weekend. I don't feel like Joe Gacy is needed. I understand that you want to have kind of like the heel in there as Tyler Bates a face and then Wesley's a face, but I don't feel like you need it. And my concern is that Joe Gacy's actually going to win. I didn't do predictions. I'm sorry for the tag team belts. I have Gallus winning. Creed Brothers will still win out, but they'll be caught up by November. That's my prediction. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What can I tell you? It's okay. That's not the one I'm feeling bad about being right, because apparently I'm wrong about everything because I did not have Roman winning at WrestleMania. And boy, howdy. Sometimes I should just listen to me instead of doing other stuff. But I would say I feel like Joe Gacy might win, or I feel like what would happen is that he'll take the pin and then Tyler Bate and Wesley will continue, and this will lead to the heel turn. Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee, British round rules for NXT Heritage Cup. So prior to NXT, or alongside NXT, was NXT UK. We talked about it lightly. It produced some matches of the year, such as Walter at that time. Now he's Gunther on the main roster, but Walter versus Ilya Dragunov too. Y'all should watch that. That is, if I had to show you a couple of matches, a lot of them involve Walter / Gunther. Ilya would be part of it too. So the Heritage Cup, I guess, was like a secondary title, or a title, actually very fancy looking title. Trophy. Yeah, Dragon Lee hasn't really been booked well since he came on board in April. He hasn't really had a big feud. Noam Dar is a little underrated, in my opinion. You don't know what talent he's got out there because he hasn't been projected as much. He was gone for a bit, but now he's here. Dragon Lee should win that, but I don't know. They got to do some stuff with it. Speaking of Ilya Dragunov, him and Dijak, last man standing, sign me up. Put it in my veins. Por favor. I am invested in this match. The whole thing is that Dijak just wants his justice. Remember, he was in NXT, got called up, was in Retribution, nothing came of it, went back to NXT, came back with this very different character where he looks like Last Action Hero vibes, and I love it. I just need him come out in this pay-per-view in a Judge Dredd attire, and I'll be peachy keen. I love a little cheese in my wrestling. I am the law. And I'm not talking about Carl Urban Dredd either. I'm talking about Sylvester Stallone, Armand Asante, 95, 96, baby. Give me what I want. Him and Dragunov, and we love Dragunov. We love the song. We love all 5'6" of him. He's going to beat the holy hell out of Dijak. He'll win it, but it's just going to be good eats for your boy, because how do you like your wrestling? I like my wrestling with good storytelling in the ring. One day I'll do a whole explanation of what that looks like, but also just nice thuds that seems like they're actually beating the hell out of each other. Last man standing, boy, if we did a drinking rules, we wouldn't be standing at the end of it. So I'm excited for the pay-per-view. Am I going to watch it day one on Sunday? No. Instead, what am I going to do? It's May 28th at 8 p.m. Instead, what I'm going to do is watch it probably that Monday. In lieu of watching Raw, I'll watch that, but it's my brother-in-law's birthday party. Damn it. Family gets involved, man, on all the things I want. So therein lies Battlegrounds. AEW Double or Nothing. I've talked to you about it. Oh, Heater up 61-52. Charles Effect kicking in, baby. Oh, man. BetBuzz is going to be playing. BetBuzz is going to be playing. It's going to be good. So am I excited for this pay-per-view? Debatably. Have I seen the card? Yes. Am I going to like the matches in full? Yes. There is a consequence sometimes to having a bloated pay-per-view show. You know what I mean? There is. Because
having too much.
Having too much. What is your idea? Well, you should have 3 slices of pizza. not 5. You should have some of the Five Guys fries, not the bag and then half of the giant size. You know what I mean? One slice of cheesecake is perfectly fine, though I know people who yell at me for that. We'll go from a bit by bit. I'm just looking through some of the big matches. Apparently, it's going to be the Hardy Party versus the Firm. I sent you the ultimate deletion. There's a stipulation to that which says Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract again if he's able to beat the Firm. They did the Hardy Compound, the Firm deletion, where it's Isaiah Cassidy just doing the orgasmic noises, which I love so much. If I knew how to use technology, if I cared about social media, I'll clip it up. I enjoy it for what it is. This is really just the Hardy Party coming back in to get some relevance, but we love Stokely half the way. So anything that gives him some shot into it, I'll be very happy. But I expect the Hardy Party to win. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. Jade Cargill has gone over 500 days without being pinned or losing her title. She holds the TBS title, which is the second dairy women's title. Sometimes it feels like the main title, if I could be honest, for the women's division. Jamie Hayter's been hurt. That's why. Am I invested in the match? Do I think it should be better? Yes, because I sent you the botch of it, where it was a roll-up that wasn't a roll-up, where it was in sequence. I actually think Cargill loses. A lot of people think it's going to continue until someone like Chris Statlander comes out. No, I think she loses Taya Valkyrie. I think that's how it ends. 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale for the International Championship, formerly the All-Atlantic Championship, but they renamed it. Orange Cassidy's holding that belt. It's going to be a Battle Royal, and whoever's left standing is going to end up winning. I don't know. I don't know who the entrants are. There's so many people there. The International Championship has been, considered to be, I would say, the secondary title, like the second best, push title, because it's better than the TNT title, right? And the Trios Championships are fine. The tag team titles we're going to talk about that in a second, I promise you. But let's see what happens. Orange Cassidy is a favorite of Tony Khan. We'll go from there. So this match, FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Hardwood, the Revival, from what they were in NXT, but they're not that anymore. They're FTR. They're just damn good tag teams against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was in WWF WCW days. He has linked up with Jay Lethal, who was popular in Impact or Ring of Honor, and Karen Jarrett, Jeff's real-life wife, came out and low-blowed them. I don't care about this match. I think you might get something good of it. Jeff Jarrett was also the pusher for Impact Wrestling and that helped create that TNA and Impact and all that stuff. And I think there was another name for it as well, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because it wasn't something I never cared too much about. He's there having a good time. His theme song's cool. I appreciate it, but this is a pay-per-view. And can you tell me if this is the best story to tell for a pay-per-view match? We're not paying $5 here, guys. That's the thing I want you to realize, Francisco. This is a $50 pay-per-view. And you're going to give me FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And with Mark Briscoe being the special guest referee, and, Mark Briscoe's brother died, Jay Briscoe, he's going to be doing the refereeing stuff, coming into as a special guest. I know you want to have something emotional there. The Briscoe brothers were there as a focus of tag team wrestling, especially for Ring of Honor. But I don't know. Sometimes you have to go for the whole of the public of who's buying, as opposed to those who might just enjoy this little slice of the pie. Not into it. If the match is good, that's fine. The ways I end up seeing these matches are maybe YouTube, internet. We go from there. Wardlow versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. They say it's a ladder match. That's fine. I'm interested. I thought it was going to be Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. The TNT title has been badly booked for a very long time. The best one to hold that TNT belt was Miro, and he's back, but they don't do anything with it. I think Wardlow wins. I don't think Christian's going to do it. I think Wardlow's going to retain, and that's what will lead to Wardlow versus Luchasaurus, and they'll continue from there, but they got to figure out what they're doing. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. It's a rematch of the match that led to Jamie Hayter retaining. She wins. They're going to do Forbidden Door. I'm just already going to push on that and go from there. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho, unsanctioned match. Remember, Adam Cole came back having a lot of concussions, couldn't do anything with it for a long time. He knows his career is coming in. Jericho's his guy to kind of elevate him. Cole's going to win. Jericho's at that point in his career. Well, maybe he'll win some stuff, but he's going to help put over other guys because Adam Cole at the end of the day is going to be the guy who challenges and wins the main title next, I feel. We're going to talk about that in a second. But God, man, there's so many damn matches, and that's why I have to compress this because I wouldn't want to hear myself about wrestling all the time, right? Deep breath, Charles. Blackpool Combat Club, The Elite, Anarchy in the Arena match. I talk about it lightly. Blackpool Combat Club consists of Wheeler Yuta, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Kyle Castagnoli versus The Elite being Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Anarchy in the Arena, just think of it, no holds barred match, falls count, go from there. People beat the shit out of each other. It's synonymous with last year's Anarchy in the Arena with Eddie Kingston coming out covered in blood with a gasoline tank holder, trying to pour gasoline on Chris Jericho and lighting him on fire. And then Bryan Danielson said no, and it cost him the match. It should be good. I've been investing in the story. Hangman just reunited last week. Wednesday's going to tell us we're going to go further. Give it good 40 minutes. This is going to be a long pay-per-view. Can I just tell you that? Because I'm naming you like 7 matches, and there's like 3 of them that need 30 minutes. You're talking about
bloat. It was kind of bloated.
Yeah, the bloat is bloated, man. When's my bathroom break? What if I want to miss something, right? So I expect the Elite to win. You do not need to continue this feud. You could, but the next pay-per-view you're looking at September. Do you have legs to last you 3 more months? I don't know, man. And then we get to the main event, Fatal 4-Way World Championship, MJF champion, Darby Allin, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara. I'm invested in the match, but it's 100% sure that MJF's winning. So that's the problem. When it's so predictable, you can enjoy the beats to get there, but you know what's happening. It is literally like the remake of modern day Hollywood movies. That's the best way I can describe it to you. Murder on the Orient Express, right? It's like remaking A Star Is Born. It's like remaking Candyman, even though they say it's a reimaging of it, so maybe that's not proper. It can't even do House Party because even though we mentioned LeBron, he changed it. But it's those shot-for-shot remakes where you're like, okay, we know MJF's going to win it. He's probably going to be challenged by Adam Cole and lose that by September at All In or All Out, what have you. I cannot expect anybody to go from there. Is it going to be a good pay-per-view? Sure. Would I pay $50 for it? No. Why? Because I'm cheap. Damn it, the Heat are losing now. I'm going to turn this away. What Max or HBO, Warner Bros. Discovery, wherever the hell they want to be, needs to do, man, is just give me, subscriptions to pay in for less expensive pay-per-views. I'd rather pay $25 than $50. Just saying. I would even go as far as paying $30. If I could pay $30 for a disappointing meal, I'll pay $30 for 3-hour wrestling. I divide that as 10 hours. I'm sorry, $10 an hour, whereas a $30 meal would make me just poop it out an hour later. Can't do it. Finally, Saturday at 1 p.m. in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. We're going to hit this bit by bit, and then we're going to go to the 2 matches that matter to me and the 1 match I don't care about, but I'm going to talk shit about it. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, Intercontinental Championship. We love Gunther. Mustafa is really, it feels like he's just there because he has, I think he has Saudi descent. It gets weird with WWE. They might be like, oh, you have a little bit of this, and you're going to go from there. I like Ali enough that he deserves a chance, but there hasn't been story to it. Gunther's been really feuding more with Matt Riddle, and I think that's what's going to lead to the Money in the Bank match. Gunther retains. SmackDown Women's Championship, even though it's held by somebody on Raw. Make it make sense, Francisco. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. Should be an okay match. Rhea Ripley wins, goes from there. Raw Women's Championship, held by someone on SmackDown. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Asuka should win, man. You had her come back and lose at WrestleMania after she had a good showing in Elimination Chamber. She just came back as heel. I get that you want to make Bianca's championship run fantastic, but as things go stale, the longer they have a belt on them, look at Roman, for example, I don't know if you can compel anything for Bianca to be more interesting to hold that title unless you have her turn heel. And Asuka doesn't have to be the person that she turns heel on, but you have to have that ground proof because you need that jolt of lightning. You can have holding a title for 400 plus days get to your ego, make you paranoid, make you concerned, make you want to be ruthless, make you want to have a Machiavellian mindset of how to pick your challengers, make it all or nothing, a zero-sum game because you're afraid of getting that L. You got to do something with it. I just gave you the groundwork of how you could make her interesting as a heel. Because is she really a heel? Does she care so much about preserving her title? But before we can have her be a heel, she has to turn heel. This match is going to be good. The WrestleMania match was fine and dandy. They're going to have more time to make it work. I just want to see what that result's going to be, man. Because if Asuka wins the title, it could be a breath of fresh air. And sometimes there's an interesting story to tell about the champion who becomes then a challenger going back in the hunt. I'm just saying. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, buddy. I'm in on that story. I mean, I don't have enough time. Maybe I have to do a little side thing for the cage to talk about how I think this is interesting because Hunter has had a hard time developing stories for the women wrestlers without a title involved. And the whole thing about Trish Stratus, if I could sum up in a few sentences, y'all call me the Nostalgia Act. I'm the present. I'm the past. I can be the future. I'm going to beat the hell out of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is like, girl, I have done everything to change the whole concept where it's not diva wrestling. It's women's wrestling. I am the man. I am the big time Bex. You were wolfing like a dog back in the Vince McMahon era, which she was. I am the establishment. I'm bigger than Roman Reigns. I'm bigger than this. It's compelling stuff, man, because it's all those things I was telling you about of how they can portray it with other stories without a title. I think that's so important to do that because it's so arbitrary when you have a championship. I want this. You're going to give me this. No, this is mine. I'm not going to give you this. You have to fight me for it if you think you can handle up the measure. That's a typical title match dispute. When it comes into is like, I don't like you. I don't like you. That's sometimes how you get your non-title feuds. This one's more or less like, I trusted you. I betrayed you. No, you needed me to come back. I'm always here. I'm the best of it. I'm like, you have some compelling, you need a connection because normal people don't want to fight. Do you want to fight every day? No. Do I want to fight? Sure. I go from there. But I don't fight into that degree. What I want to fight you on? Smash Bros, buddy. Zelda. Not getting into the ring and hurting somebody. So you have to have that connectiveness. That's at least how I view it, right? We this whole concept of please don't try this at home is not just stages of doing diamond cutters and RKOs on your buddies. It's not to let yourself get insensitive. It's escapism, right? Maybe. And then you get some weird people who really think it's, 100% truthful and accurate. It's not. I'm sorry to break it to you. But let's get to the matches I care about and that one match. And I will leave it on that match because this pay-per-view is being billed as a triple main event. How can you have a triple main event when only one thing closes the show, man? I hate it with the double main event to begin with, but the triple main event is going to be Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for that vacant World Heavyweight Championship that I don't know if I hate the design of it or not, Francisco, but I will know once I see it on a wrestler as opposed to being on a podium. Story isn't really a story. It's just two of the best wrestlers going at it. Fully expect Seth to win. I'm in love with the concept of the match. They had an excellent Money in the Bank match a couple of years ago, I think in 2019, when Seth was defending his Universal Championship against AJ. I know they're going to put on the greatness. What I expect the fallout to happen, Seth will win the championship because he's on Raw. He'll stay on Raw, obviously. AJ's on SmackDown. If he had won, he would have gone to Raw. But I think we're laying the groundwork to AJ versus Roman because he was talking a bunch of trash about Roman and how the World Heavyweight Championship was created for a workhorse championship. And when you're at the top and you're at the pinnacle and you're at the peak, it is expected of you to always be out there, never take rest days. I have an AJ Styles shirt that I tend to wear at the gym. I have no shame to admit it. And that phrase is, never rest, never rust. And I think that's that mentality you bring to the character. So that's perfect for gearing towards Roman for a Money in the Bank match. And I will be, a little creamsicle when that happens. I'm enjoying that. Then we have the other part of the triple main event. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens defending the World Tag Team Championship or Undisputed Tag Team Championships against not the Usos kids of the Bloodline, but Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. What's the story behind it? As I've lightly peppered it, where Roman is frustrated with the Usos, he's frustrated with Sami, and he's frustrated with Kevin, and he trusts Solo, who's the brother of the Usos, enough to work with him to beat out those people to get those titles and show that really why he's dominating. Can I be frank with you, Frank? I'm going to be frank with you, Frank. Let's go. People are going to hate me. I want Roman and Solo to win. I love Sami Zayn. I love Kevin Owens. I love their match at Mania. I gave it 5 stars. I felt the emotion. It felt great. I'm always about perpetuating the story and pushing it. And if Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa leads to the Usos turning face and challenging Roman and Solo for the tag titles, man. Because as Roman defined that Universal Championship and that WWE Championship, that he defined it so much that he was his identity that they had to create another title in spite of him, it is fair to say that the Usos defined those championships. Their legacy, their bloodline, their establishment, their history in the record books, their similar stuff, the Jerry Wesses, the Michael Jordan Trophy Awards. That's the kind of mentality. I am perfectly fine with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning. Chances are they probably are because the Usos are going to interfere. It's going to screw over Solo and Roman and further deteriorate the bloodline. You don't need the titles for it. But you have a compelling story, to me, and I'm going to one-dimensionalize this to the best of my ability, where instead of having the Usos go, hey, we're sick of you treating us like trash, you can tell that sort of be, hey, you're the big dog, right? Well, you got something that we want, and we're gunning for it. Because what you've told us is titles are the only thing that matter. Well, those titles matter to us. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. But yet, some people like lighthearted comedy. Some people like dark humor. you have to figure out what kind of wrestling you like, right? We might be laughing, but there's a difference between chuckling at a poop joke and then chuckling about a joke made at a morgue. So what are we doing here, right? That's just me. In this instance, I'll take the dark humor if it leads me that. Let's just talk about it. So what do you want to talk about? That's his catchphrase, right? Cody, I'm so sorry. I follow you on Twitter. I was so supportive of UAW. I don't think you have your fingertips touching fully on this. I am so conflicted of caring. You know how they say I have no fucks to give about this situation? It doesn't make sense because why would you have to say if you have any more to give? That means you were already giving out your maximum, right? And that's how I feel about this because I know what I like to think I know what the groundwork is for this. I don't know. Vince McMahon, this in the Bloodline storyline, it definitely screams Vince, not Hunter. But Brock keeps attacking Cody. He attacked Cody yesterday on Raw, busts up his arm. At the very end of Raw, Triple H was like, don't go out and fight him, man. And then you're getting Brock and Cody. And their match at Backlash bothered me because Brock looked like the badass coming out of it, and Cody just seemed to get lucky at the pin. I know his whole thing is like, I beat you in a ring in a wrestling move, with a wrestling move being the roll-up. And I'm like, yeah, I get you. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But the other guy, this is supposed to elevate you, and the other guy wasn't enough to kind of get you there. You know, so it is just interesting enough to kind of build it from that where I have those interesting points. But this match itself is like, I don't know who's actually going to win. I could see this extending to SummerSlam, where Brock just beats the holy hell out of Cody, and it just knocks it out of the park, where Cody leaves for a couple months and comes back and gets his revenge at Brock at SummerSlam, if they're not planning to do Cody and Roman at Slam, which is a strong possibility. But do I care enough about this? What kind of Brock Lesnar is coming up? Is Brock going to give me 15 minutes or is he going to give me 5 minutes? If this is a triple main event, are they going to give the first two matches a whole bunch of time and this one a small amount? I don't know. But I know is that I just want it to be done. And that's just me. Other people might feel differently. Look, I'm the one who's saying right now, Cody should have won the belts. I was ready for that. I was prepared for it. I think it would have been fine with it. He proved himself to be a main eventer. If your storyline is that Cody wasn't ready yet and he has to go through the ringer, then you're dumb, because sometimes you can tell if a guy is main event hanging, not because of the story being told, but what actually happens in the ring. That match itself, aside from the finish, was like 4.5, 4.75. That's perfect, man. You know, he brought the best out of Roman. Roman brought the best out of him. And then I get this. I'm just like, and I sent it to you. And I don't know if you've watched the Brock and Cody clips. I would encourage you to watch my Cody hate. I do not hate Cody. I hate everything of how we're getting Cody and how he's being presented. But let him win. Let him find a way. I just also don't want him to get the Money in the Bank contract to cash in on Roman. There's just so much particulars, but I'll watch it. Sometimes that's what happens when you have Stockholm Syndrome. Vince McMahon has been giving that to me since 1997. And that's all I got for you this week on The Cage.
Alrighty. And I had a nice little segment here I'm watching with Bruce Boudreau giving...
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and... well, I'm glad Bruce Boudreau is living his best life right now. All right, especially after the
Kevin Owens, man.
Yeah, after the way the Canucks screwed them. So Vancouver deserves nothing nice. So there you go. More hockey petty from me. And, well, that's it. We're at 2 hours and 9 minutes. And the Heat game is still ongoing. And, I'll probably play Zelda after this.
I mean, they're down by 10. We're going to transition into nighttime mode.
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Believe in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The Yankees just won.
Oh, well,
look at that. Let's use that energy. They went to 10 innings. They got to the bottom. They're now 30-20. You know, all I'm saying, can I say it? King stays the king. We're 5.5 games behind. I feel it in the air tonight. Oh, Lord.
All righty. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Sports Goofs is over. Get out of here, go do something. Or at least a week. Then Charles and Drew and Francisco, you crave and seek Taco Bell time.